Raised by Wolves Season 1 was, in short, fucking epic. I have lots of questions, and for this video, it's gonna be pretty short, so I've narrowed it down to 3 big questions I have going into Season 2. I plan on making a few more Raised by Wolves videos, and if you like this one, please be sure to share it on social media and leave me a comment on your thoughts and opinions of my thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is the new arc arriving. That definitely means a new cast. Now, we saw some of them, and Marcus pretty much wiped them the fuck out within seconds. And I think it'll be interesting to see, obviously, with the full arc and Mother having her eyes gone, speaking of which I want to talk about later on in this video, but they are potentially safe for the time being, as the only threat is that snake creature, and I don't know if it's as devastating as Mother, seeing as how it grew so quickly. A lot of people tend to think that it grew from the heat. I don't know, I'll talk about that in a second, but I'm pretty sure that with the new arc and potentially new cast arriving, that means one thing: lots of death to further the plot. I don't know if it'll mean the death of the Gen 2 children. Mother and Father are pretty much invulnerable, and Marcus seems to be after swallowing Mother's eyes. I'll talk about that again in a second. I know I keep teasing on shit, but I'm pretty sure with the new cast of atheists arriving instead of the Mithraics, it'll be cool to see what this non-religion religion holds. And the reason why I say that is because I believe that since it's a group of people claiming themselves to be atheists and pretty much following some sort of credo and some code, it seems like a religion to me, and I think we'll find out quickly. Mother believes in her creator as, pretty much a deity, and she got into an argument with Father in the last episode about how that's against their programming, and she shouldn't be doing that. She was reprogrammed to not believe anything other than humankind and the power of the human mind. Relating to that train of thought, are they going to continue to defy their programming? One thing's for certain, we're going to find out that the atheists aren't so atheists. Now, another big question I have, and this is just some rendering or remaining ones that I had from the finale breakdown video that I did. Speaking of which, that's listed right up here, one of these pop-off little clicky things up here in the right-hand corner, but also it's listed down below in the description. Make sure you go and watch that. That's where you'll get most of my thoughts on the snake creature. But in this video, I want to mention, what the hell is it going to eat? It does seem to grow from heat, like I mentioned, and the only reason why I say that is because after it, teleported itself, Mother and Father, through this molten volcano thing, and then was forced to drop from the sky and crash, it seems as though when it's exposed to heat, the explosion from the crash and, going through a molten core, it grows larger. It could just be that it grows quickly. I don't know if the heat's related to it at all, but the bigger question is, what is it going to feast on? Mother mentioned when this thing was like a wet, little, nasty looking face hugger snake eel thing, it was going to feast on blood as soon as it finished draining her of her milk. So that's going to be a big thing. I believe it's probably going to feast on those humanoid creatures. And that's probably what this deal is going to be between the Mithraics and these alien creatures on Kepler. I think it's going to be that it's basically like a food and a farming situation, almost. They allow the humans to live out until they eventually devolve, and they allow it to feed this giant snake creature, which somehow affects their planet, whether it be destroying it or creating a new. One thing that's interesting to look into, at least, and what we could sort of guess that Ridley Scott and the creator of this show is basing this storyline off of, could be something similar to Jörmungandr, which is my attempt at pronouncing a Norse word, and Jörmungandr is Norse mythology. Is basically Midgard world serpent, is a sea serpent, the middle child of the giantess Angerboda and Loki. According to the prose Edda, Odin took Loki's 3 children by Angerboda to the Wolffinger Hell in Jörmungandr and tossed Jörmungandr into the great oceans that encircles Midgard. The serpent grew so large that it was able to surround the earth and grasp its own tail. As a result, it received the name of the Midgard serpent, or the world serpent. And when it releases its tail, the apocalypse is going to begin. Or Thor Ragnarok is going to begin, which is the Marvel movie that was sort of based on that. And basically, if we're going to take any sort of connection from Norse mythology into this TV show, is that this giant serpent was released and seems to grow massive. It looks like these bones are everywhere, and I'm sure it's been slightly confirmed elsewhere online by the creator of the show releasing some sort of statement about how the creature, those skeletons are. It's obvious. As soon as you see this giant snake creature that grows, those skeletons aliens that are everywhere on the planet are seemingly the same thing, or previous versions of it at least. But what we can take away from that is that it's basically a self-confirming prophecy. As soon as this creature that has to have an android host in order to create itself brings about some sort of apocalypse, which ultimately brings about a new world. That's what this ritual was that I suggested in my last video, and that's what I think is going to happen in season 2 and maybe later throughout the series. I'm not sure how many seasons it'll be confirmed from, but I think they should be able to get at least 4 or 5 out of this plotline if they do it right. And the last thing I want to discuss for this video is the Mother's Eyes, the ultimate weapon, the greatest weapon on this planet until another arc of the atheists arrive. We do know the atheists are the ones who reprogrammed a necromancer in the first place, although we know that the Mithraics on their arcs didn't travel with another necromancer, so we don't know if the atheists are going to be foolish enough to do so. But Mother's Eyes, what exactly happened to them? I failed to mention them in my last video, and I think that's because I never covered episode 9, and that's when that happened. But it looked like Lucius fed them to Marcus when he beat the shit out of him. He like force fed him and put him in his mouth. And it looks like Marcus has some healing super ability to like prophesize some sort of weird dreams, and as he stumbles through them, it magically heals him. But I think it's more so because he swallowed Mother's Eyes. And although he may not be able to harness the full power of them, they may have some sort of healing ability, which would explain why he's able to beat the shit out of these atheist soldiers. Also, another thing I've been wondering is like, will the giant snake protect Mother? It seems as though it has some sort of ability to want to protect her, or some sort of need to want to do so, because it could have easily just teleported itself, and instead it decided to teleport the whole spaceship. Now, one could argue that it just, had to think fast, and grabbing the spaceship and teleporting it through the molten core would have been the easiest thing, but I disagree with that. I think this snake creature is super intelligent and want to protect its mother. I think it'll be interesting to see if there's a dynamic where this creature not only wants to protect Mother, but maybe its other siblings too. Maybe that's the whole point of this whole thing, is that the Mithraics are supposed to get along with these alien creatures, and in doing so, Mother had to have some sort of pre-existing human family, and then give birth to this snake creature in order for the humans and these aliens to get along. There'll be like a parasitical relationship, I don't know, some sort of, let's give this to you, you guys also need something, now give us this, sort of thing. And I think that ultimately may be food on that sparse planet. Maybe this Jörmungandr creature can somehow heal the planet, but also destroy it. Maybe it'll have to destroy portions of it, which may be the subtropic climate. Maybe it does something like a polar shift, where it converts one side of the planet into a habitable climate, while the other side of the planet slowly dies off. Who knows? You all let me know what you think down below in that comment section. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. If you all could please, if you enjoyed this video, slap a like on it. The like goal will in fact be 420 or 420 Kepler, I don't know, some sort of weed joke if you smoke like of this video. And also, if you've been enjoying my semi-daily uploads, then if you could please go and consider checking out my Patreon. A special thank you to these individuals right here, and a special thank you to you watching this video. The door, the final, the open, the demon. Every thought, every breath, everything is alone. Or something like that. I don't know. It's a good song.